Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really getting into a fascinating topic, the global game developer market and how it's evolving. We've been looking through quite a few recent reports and analyses, and
Yeah.
honestly, there are some pretty surprising shifts happening in this creative space.
Right. Our goal here is really to sift through the numbers and see what's actually driving the growth. Not just the scale, but the influence of game development around the world. It's a really dynamic area right now.
Exactly, because you see this headline growth figure and think maybe it's a bit slow, but underneath that slow and steady vibe,
Right.
there's this incredible innovation bubbling up, and some regional hotspots are just, wow, taking off unexpectedly. Let's dig into that.
Good.
So, starting with the big picture. Globally, the market's looking to hit about $1.8 billion by 2033. That's up from, what, $1.23 billion back in 2021. So compound annual growth rate, NEAGR, of about 3.2%. Now, 3.2% might not sound, explosive.
Not like some tech sectors, maybe.
Right. But for a creative industry like gaming, it actually signals something quite important, I think. A maturing market.
Yeah, absolutely. It points away from just relying on massive, unpredictable hits. It shows the strength of uh, digital distribution, ongoing player engagement, subscription models, maybe, things that build a more stable foundation.
That's a great point. It suggests a certain resilience.
Exactly. Resilience, maybe even a bit more predictability than the industry used to have.
Okay, so where's the action happening?
Yeah.
Regionally speaking, North America seems to still be the big stronghold. The U.S. alone is forecast to bring in over $571 million by 2033. And that's not just the huge AAA studios, right?
No, it's the whole ecosystem, the advanced tools, the engine development, the specialized talent. It all feeds into those really ambitious, technically complex games.
And Canada and Mexico are doing pretty well, too. I saw numbers like 3.9% and 4.6% CIGR for them.
Yeah, they're definitely showing strong growth. Things like tax incentives help. Plus, they've got really skilled developers building up there.
Okay, so if that's North America, how does Europe compare?
Europe's growth is a bit more modest, around 2.7% CAGR overall. Germany's looking at about $73 million by 2033. The UK around $58 million. Some other big players like Russia, France, Spain, their overall growth is a bit quieter.
Quieter overall, but what about the indie scene? I always hear about thriving indie communities
Yeah.
across Europe.
Oh, absolutely. And that's key. It's not just a sideshow. The funding landscape there is different, more government grants, cultural funding. That really allows smaller, sometimes more experimental studios to get off the ground without needing huge VC investment like you might see elsewhere. Fosters a different kind of innovation.
Interesting. Okay, let's pivot then. Asia Pacific. That sounds like where the story gets really dynamic. Forecasted to generate over $458 million, you said. China's leading, obviously, with about 3.9% CAGR.
Right, China's huge. But the really fast growth, the headline stuff, is happening in India, Taiwan, Southeast Asia. We're talking CAGRs from like 4.4% up to 5.5%. That's significant.
Wow, and what's driving that explosion? Mobile.
Primarily, yes. The accessibility of mobile gaming is just massive there. Plus, you have this rapidly growing middle class getting into gaming.
Makes sense. And then what about the Middle East and Africa? You mentioned them as sort of surprise contenders.
Definitely. Africa in particular is really interesting. Forecasted growth is 4.6% CAGR. And countries like Nigeria and South Africa are seeing growth rates over 5%. It's not just about investment flowing in, though that's happening. It's also about mobile access, just unlocking huge new player bases. And crucially, homegrown talent creating games that really resonate locally, using mobile-first approaches. It could seriously diversify what kinds of games we see globally.
So pulling back a bit, what are the main forces driving all these shifts? We've touched on a few. Global digital transformation seems key, right? Plus the rise of indie developers and that massive shift to mobile first.
Exactly. And it's fascinating how these big trends play out differently everywhere. Digital transformation isn't just internet speed. It's global payment systems, cloud computing making remote work easier, platforms like Scheme or the app stores giving tiny teens global reach. Barriers to entry are just way lower.
Which directly fuels that indie boom.
Precisely. A small team can suddenly reach millions. And mobile isn't just a device choice. In many markets, it is the primary, maybe only, gaming device. That drives demand for totally different kinds of games, often free to play, very accessible.
Right, while in, say, North America or Europe, The investment focus might be more on pushing VR or cross-platform engines to reach console and PC players.
Yeah, exactly. Those established markets are looking at deepening immersion or making development more efficient across platforms. These aren't just trends, they're changing how games are fundamentally made and experienced.
So when you wrap it all up, this market isn't just dollars and cents. It's
Mhm.
really about influence, isn't it?
Absolutely. Game developers are genuinely shaping the future of entertainment. How we tell stories, how we interact with technology, whether it's a tiny indie studio or a massive publisher, they're right at the heart of it all, defining our digital future.
It really is incredible to see the range. You've got these huge, graphically intense AAA games on one end, and then these super innovative mobile games coming from teams in, like you said, Lagos or Jakarta. It's properly global now.
It is. And maybe that leaves a final thought for you listening right now. As this global picture keeps shifting, think about how the unique strengths and the needs of each region are feeding into this richer, more diverse future for games. What do you think that means for the next wave of creators, the storytellers, and technologists who are just starting out in this really exciting space?
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into the game developer market. It's an area that's not just changing bit by bit, it feels like it's constantly reinventing itself.
It really does. And what's driving it, it's this mix of really powerful tech, new ways of connecting everything, and also these shifting rules around the world.
Right.
So today, our mission for you is really to break down what's pushing things forward, what's holding things back a bit, and the really cool trends that are changing the game. Literally.
Okay, so let's start with what's really lighting a fire under this market.
Yeah.
You basically have to talk about the tech innovation, especially VR and AR.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not science fiction anymore, is it?
Hmm.
Stuff like MetaQuest, PlayStation VR, they're making it, well, almost mainstream. More people can actually afford and use this stuff now.
Hmm.
And it's more than just looking around. You've got spatial audio, hearing exactly where that sound came from. Motion tracking lets you use your hands naturally. Haptic feedback, you actually feel things happening. It pulls you right in.
Yeah, and that immersion connects directly to big business moves. Think about Take-Two buying Zynga for, what was it, $12.7 billion.
Wow, yeah, huge number.
It wasn't just about mobile games in isolation. It was a massive bet on deeper, more persistent engagement. They see that the future isn't just fancy graphics, it's these connected social platforms. Mobile's reach and monetization are becoming like essential pieces for VR and AR growth.
That makes a lot of sense. You need the people, the community, not just the tech.
Yeah.
Okay, so connecting all these players and experiences, that brings us to networks, right? High-speed internet.
Exactly. 5G, fiber optics spreading everywhere. This is the plumbing that makes real-time multiplayer, cloud gaming, and just downloading massive games even possible on a large scale.
So what does that really mean for someone listening? For the player?
Well, think about Xbox Cloud Gaming or, what Stadia was doing. Suddenly, you don't need the super powerful console or PC at home.
Right, just a good connection.
Just a solid internet connection. And that opens up high-end gaming to way more people globally, places where maybe the hardware cost was a barrier before. Plus, developers can push out bigger, better games and updates much faster.
Okay, so the tech and networks are pushing things forward, but it's not all easy, is it? What about the roadblocks?
Yeah, a major one is global regulations, content restrictions. Governments everywhere are looking closer at games violence, gambling elements, loot boxes, even just cultural stuff.
China comes to mind there, right?
Yeah.
They seem particularly strict.
Very strict. It impacts everything from game mechanics to how you can even make money from the game in that market. It's a huge consideration.
And for the developers, that means?
It means headaches, basically. You might have to change your game, censor parts, create different versions for different countries. That costs time, costs money.
And creativity, I bet. Limits what you feel you can do.
For sure. It can definitely restrict creative freedom and ultimately whether you even bother launching in certain big markets. Tough calls.
Okay, so dealing with those rules is one challenge. But developers are also finding new ways to work smarter, right? Like with AI.
Oh, absolutely. AI-generated content and procedural design are becoming huge. We're talking about using machine learning to automatically create game worlds, make characters behave realistically, even help test for bugs.
So it's about speeding things up, Making development cheaper.
It definitely does that, yeah. Cuts down development time and cost, which is crucial when everyone wants new content, like yesterday. But it's more than just efficiency.
How so?
It lets developers, even smaller teams, create these massive, complex, unique worlds that just wouldn't have been feasible before. They can focus their human brain power on the story, the core fun, while the AI handles some of the heavy lifting of asset creation.
Interesting. Okay, another big trend you hear about constantly is cross-platform and cloud gaming.
Yep. Players just expect it now, don't they? They want to play the same game on their console, then pick it up on their PC, maybe even on their phone, seamlessly.
And cloud gaming helps there by removing the hardware need, like you said, so you can just stream it anywhere.
Exactly. And think about it, cross-platform saves, playing multiplayer with friends no matter what they're using. That builds incredible loyalty. People stick with the games and ecosystems that let them do that.
And the big tech companies see this.
Oh, yeah. They are pouring billions into cloud infrastructure because they know this is where things are heading. It's how games will be delivered and played.
So wrapping this all up,
Yeah.
the game developer market is clearly leveling up, you could say.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Despite those regulatory challenges we talked about,
Yeah.
we've got this powerful mix of new tech, better connections, and just this constant push to innovate what interactive entertainment even means.
It really is an exciting space, and maybe the thought to leave you with is this. The future of gaming isn't just about being fun anymore. It's smart, it's deeply connected, and it's truly global. Think about how these trends we discussed, the AI, the cloud, the regulations, how they'll shape pretty much every game you play from here on out.